In this episode, I talk about, is influencer marketing really worth it? Welcome to episode 76 of The Honest Entrepreneur Show. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Guys, I have to say, I thanked you in a recent episode for all the recent support. I love you guys. You are the best community in the world, and I appreciate you so much. I also love the fact that you've been with me since the start. I promise you, I've got very, very big things lying ahead in terms of my plans for world domination. And I love being able to document everything from this early stage. And here's a little tip. This might not be here if you're listening to this way in the future. But the other day I went on my Instagram and I clicked on a pinned story called Personal Brand. And I watched it back. And it was from the time I started this show 9 months ago. And the points are valid and the advice is solid still, but it was super interesting to me how much can change in just 9 months. I was there talking about like my smaller following count back there and trying out stuff for the first time in terms of my marketing, which is now stuff which I use all the time. And it was just super interesting to look back, and I cannot wait to do the same thing in like 5-10 years and be like, whoa, like I can't believe my content used to look like that. So such is the what is the word, Marco, where you've got something which is like held in the past that you can look back on. I can't think. I'm drawing a blank, guys, but basically that is what I'm talking about. So for all of us, I love that side of the internet where we can actually just look back and kind of get that rosy glow of nostalgia of like, oh, way back when, the good old formative days. So anyway, let's crack on with the show.
This question is from Shrishti. How do I work with collaborators and influencers? Many of them ask for freebies.
Hey Shrishti, welcome to the show. Another solid question, I have to say. The way you work with influencers is you ensure that it's mutually beneficial. That's it, right? Think of it, it's like the same thing as clients. There are potential clients who come and ask for freebies and free projects and free labor on your part, and it's your job to say no. But equally, there are clients that pay you really well and will hugely benefit your business. Same thing with influencers and business partners and anything. So you look for the right influencers and you're assertive enough to establish a mutual value exchange that you're both happy with. That is the dream, right? Any partnership should be win-win. It shouldn't be one side taking advantage of the other. So we have worked with influencers before. We continue to. I am a believer in it. I think there's been like a lot of noise in the influencer marketing industry. And I actually went to a talk recently from one of my personal business idols, this young guy called Steve Bartlett. He runs a huge social media company and they actually built a tool to expose influencer fraud. So it basically showed that out of the huge influencers out there, over 25% purchased and faked their following and their engagement. So not only did they have like fake inflated followings, but they also paid people to like and comment on their images. So when you went on like their likes, it was all from people in Russia and that kind of thing. And they actually had really clever ways of detecting this. So if you picture a graph right now, anyone listening, basically as you release a post, you will see a kind of slow increase in the likes and the comments going on. But if you run it through this platform and it's a fake account that's buying this stuff, you'll see like suddenly they get like 100 comments in a second. And then some of them, to try and fool people, stagger it. So you get 100 comments, then nothing for like 10 minutes, then another 100 comments. So it looks like stairs going up on this graph. So the reason I'm kind of putting that out there is to give context to like, yes, there are some bad influencers out there. Yes, there are dumb companies that are losing money because they're being like hoodwinked by these people that clearly have fake followings and inauthentic engagement and not actually very much influence. So it's worth putting that out there. But equally, I know people who are crushing it with this. So I mention her quite a lot on this show, but for example, Dina Rodriguez, she's doing this very well recently. She's got a fashion line. She's putting out apparel, putting out clothing, and she's getting models who are kind of a great fit for her. They're on the micro influencer side. So some of them have smaller but engaged followings of people that look up to them and respect them. So it's all like these alt girls and that kind of thing. And she's giving them free clothes. so that they can wear it and promote it to their following. And that's great because whatever it costs to give away the t-shirt or the hoodie, which is not a lot for her, is basically paying for itself with free advertising. And that's a great value exchange. What isn't a great value exchange is Mr. Fake Influencer Smarmy Pants 5000, who's hit you up and requested $5,000 for one post on his profile that's going to make you 2 sales. So there's quite a big spectrum there. I guess the wider question is like, how do you know which people to work with and which people not? And for me, again, it's quality over quantity, it's depth over width, it's all this kind of stuff. So when we sponsor anyone or do a partnership with anyone, I'm obsessive about the quality. I don't do what companies like Adobe and these big giants do, where they've got a huge budget and they just cast it wide in a very lazy fashion, where they're like, every influencer over the age of 25 who's in our sector, we're just going to chuck money at them and kind of hope we see a conversion rate. And I've noticed in more recent years, like that approach is starting to die off because people realize what a ludicrous waste of money it is. I would much rather put in the time, research, and effort to find the influencers that are truly quality, that have real influence. And this is people like me, to be honest, because on paper, I've got a very small following, but my following are highly engaged. I've seen it. I can get them to go and sign up and try and do stuff and buy stuff if I really want to. Like when I rally them and get them to go and like comment on stuff, like on my Make Them Smile Monday series, they go and do that in droves. You know, I have influence, I have very high engagement, and that's fantastic. So I would look for people like that. You don't need the person with 200 not really very engaged followers who's going to charge you a fortune. There are people out there like me. I'm not looking for the money, for the record, but you know, some people out there like me might be really happy to do it for $200 because they're like, oh my God, it's great. I'm able to monetize my small but engaged following. So go and look for some of those micro influencers. And if it is someone on the bigger side, like you just need to work out what that exchange is. Like, are they asking for money? Are you bartering? Are you providing like some products or freebies or an exchange of time? Like you need to both be happy that it's going to work out. And then you can do a toe in the water. You know, so you don't need to commit to like a big investment. It could be before they do a series of stories and posts. You just do a single story with them and kind of test and monitor. But I think, yeah, as well as researching, you definitely need to test and monitor. You need to look at the data. So you need to have all of the right UTMs and tracking links and so on. Don't shoot in the dark. Don't just kind of leave it up to like getting a feeling for if the campaign worked. We are in an era you can get measurable data on everything. So you can literally say, influencer number 57 over there, you know, she made us $12, but the other one with the smaller following made us $1,200. And then you can choose who to work with again, who to double down on working with, and all that kind of thing. But don't write off influencers. It's all too tempting to do that. But at a macro level, the influencer marketing industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Companies are investing more and more every single year. They wouldn't do that just for the sake of it. They're doing it because there is an ROI there. But like anything else, you've got to figure it out. You've got to put in the work to actually get an ROI, not just kind of wait to see what comes to you or lazily throw money at it. You know, do it properly like anything else. Question of the day. What is one influencer that you actually look up to? Let me know in the comments and maybe I'll go check them out and say hi. Who knows? Maybe I'll even collab with them in the future. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm really enjoying the YouTube show. If you are too, then be sure to hit the subscribe icon and tick the little bell to get notifications when I post new content on this platform.